What do you got, 6 o'clock?
What's Ricky doing?
A little better. I told him just to stay home today and rest because I don't want him to overexert himself, but he's feeling better.
Call this meeting to order, please. Could you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Of the great state of New Mexico, the leading symbol of perfect friendship among united cultures.
Good evening, everyone. Okay. Number 1, consideration of the agenda. Do I have a motion for the consideration of the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Everybody in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Number 2, unscheduled correspondence.
Stephanie Du Bois.
Just an observation. I'm looking at that mobile home park and it's, I don't know if the guy left or, I just think we ought to just keep an eye on it, that's all, because it's a source of, I don't know, vandalism and whatever going on there. So I didn't expect an answer, but I'm just an observation on my part.
Well, he is still here.
Okay, all right. So we'll see what happens in the future. All right, that was my only deal. Thank you.
Kurt Crawford.
I'd like to know why the senior center over there, when they collected money for the food, why they can't make change.
Okay, Joan Price.
Well, thank you for holding the special session last night for discussion of a long-needed relationship with the Tularosa Ditch Corporation. And thank you, Mayor and trustees, for keeping control of the conversation. I want to focus on only one of the many topics that came up. The Ditch Corporation wants the village to start monitoring turnout flow volumes just upriver from the Ditch Corporation turnout to assess payments to the ditch. The village has several water rights and should be at the table as a voting member of the Ditch Corporation. I am paying village water services and I am a paying member of the Ditch Corporation. I am very grateful for a voice with the village. I strongly recommend the village realize to get a very good picture of village needs would take a minimum of at least a year's worth of data. The Rio Tularosa is measured daily at the gauging station at Cat Mountain Road and is uploaded on the state engineer's site, as you know. I gave you each a copy of the long-range drought cycles of the Tularosa Basin issued by the Catasoso Soil and Water Conservation some time ago, so that you can see the dominant moisture cycles in this basin for the Rio Tularosa are way over a year, but at least you have this data to just look at. The village needs to consider in its needs to include what I call, for lack of a better phrase, a shadow draw. One widespread response to drought conditions is to turn to the village service at the municipal hookouts. You have posted the hours for people to use their water for outdoor purposes and water conservation for years. This is up to individuals to cooperate, and it is not monitored, and violations are rampant. Watering for community conservation needs is already a widely individualized experience. Decision according to seasons, not new trees, new lawns, old lawns, gardens, and swimming pools for just some examples. As the Ditch Corporation begins never before restrictions of the users during town week, there very well be an increased use of municipal water. You are the default water system. This happens all the time. The village should not commit to any legal agreements with the Ditch Corporation until more factors for data collection are discussed and collected to learn all the factors that are involved and in use among the village payers for water. Thank you very much for the chance to talk. I didn't talk at all.
You have 8 seconds left.
I will be happy to answer some questions later. I have looked extensively at all of this, and thank you very much. I was so glad to see it begin yesterday.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joan.
Teresa Luevano.
Hi, I'm kind of new at this. This is my first meeting I've ever attended. I've always lived outside the village, so now I'm inside the village. So I thank you for hearing me out. My interest was about the police officers that were going to be hired. I didn't see it on the agenda, and I was just wondering where that was going.
We are working diligently, but I told the crowd last night, this is a nationwide thing. Nobody wants to be a police officer anymore. Doesn't matter what city. I was up in Rio Rancho, and I think I quoted a figure, I remember it was like, they're 22 short. They pay $32 an hour. And they can't get officers, plus they have sign-on bonuses. It's not that we're not trying, we have advertisements out nationwide, we have them locally. I know every time I talk to a police officer in Alamogordo or a state police captain, which I did today, and ask them, do you know of anybody? Is there anybody interested? Every walk of life I come through, that I can know that I can talk about that, I ask them. And I know these guys are too. We're trying very hard.
I know.
And you know, being that said, on top of that, there are police officers that apply, and we've had police officers that applied that probably should not have been here. And that makes it double hard because now as a board, we decided we want to make sure that we get the right person. And it's taken longer to do the background checks because they got to make sure everything is good, checking with their employers, checking with if they hold a police officer's certificate. It's a long process. Once they put an application in, it's going to take 2 to 3 weeks to get them through that process. Then they have to, if they're coming down here, then they have to make arrangements to come down here. Because so far, we unfortunately have had no luck at local people.
Well, I'm all for it, so thank you for that.
We're working very hard.
That's it.
That's it, okay. Okay. Number 3, I don't see the police chief here. Is,
Still out of town.
oh, he's still in that
We're gonna
school.
have to
Yeah, that's
speak
right.
with him.
Okay, so you want to table it or just go ahead and,
You could do it, yeah.
okay. Number 3, Warren Candelaria, Chief of Police, is asking to approve the appointment of Aviana Garcia to part-time animal shelter attendant at the pay rate of $13.50. Can I get a motion?
What's that?
Number 3,
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
My question is there any other person there helping, assisting with the animal shelter besides the control officer?
that's why we're hiring Aviana.
Okay. With that being said, I'd like to make a motion to go ahead and hire Aviana Garcia to a part-time animal shelter attendant at the pay rate of $13.50 an hour.
I'll second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Number 4, Motion passed. Number 4, Mark Garwood, trustee, is requesting to get a handicap push button for the door at the PMS facility.
Yes, the reason I put that on there is under the Disabilities Act of 1994. Any medical facility that has an entryway needs to have an entryway for all handicapped, such as someone in a wheelchair, somebody that's physically disabled and such. And right now, our building, which the building is owned by the village right now, and we have a contract with PMS. So right now, we're not within standards of the American Disabilities Acts of 1994. So some residents came to me a few times already and asked if we're gonna be able to accommodate the handicap, because a lot of times a handicapped person goes over there and they're waiting at the front door. So it is very vital that we comply with the American Disabilities Act, and that's why I put that on the agenda for tonight. So that's the reason I put it on there.
Rebecca, is this something we can order or get in or
Yeah,
have somebody, is this something?
definitely.
Okay.
Do we have a cost at what that might run, the village?
I don't have a cost for it right now.
Okay.
Well, I could look into it and see how much it's gonna be. Shouldn't be that much. I'm pretty sure we have some money.
Plus, the door isn't wide enough. It needs to be a certain width, and for a wheelchair, it's not wide enough right now at all. So we need to rectify that situation to be in compliance with the ADA.
I will have Ralph go over there, measure and do all that stuff so we can
Alright.
see what needs to get done.
Motion?
I make a motion.
I'll second it.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion passed. Number 5, Baxter Patillo, Almotero Land Surveyors LLC is asking for a lot line adjustment for Richard C. and Nancy M. Interest.
Yes, ma'am.
Interest, I'm good. I got it right. That'll be a first, but anyway.
Good evening, trustees. I'm bringing a plat before you this evening for a lot line adjustment survey. This is in the extraterritorial jurisdiction off of Bulldog Lane and Sioux Trail. May I approach with a plat and hand that out to you guys?
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, but we have that through Alex, the chair.
A little bit bigger than the one we got. Back it.
Okay, so on the face of this plat, which has been signed by the owners and accepted by Otero County, the situation here is that Richard Interest and Nancy Interest own the large tract that you see, the adjusted tract 2A, that's the largest parcel shown here on. They also own the adjusted portion of tract 2. So if north is up, on the west side, you have that rectangular shaped parcel labeled adjusted portion of tract 2. They also own 11 Bulldog Lane, which is adjacent to Sioux Trail. And what they're asking to do is on the west side of adjusted tract 2A, you see the label for vacated lot line. What they're looking to do is swing that vacated lot line down to where it says L19. And that would allow adjusted tract 2A to have access to Sioux Trail. And all 3 parcels are owned by Richard and Nancy Interests. So just adjustment of that lot line shown on the west side there. And I have reviewed this with Stephanie Dubois and Dubois. Okay, and you can talk to her about any recommendations for that.
Stephanie, I'm going to ask you, what do you think on this situation?
Yeah, I stopped by his, I was here, I stopped by his office. But he already given me a,
Okay.
so I don't see a problem, it's all owned by the same owners. He just wants to, on that line, he wants to have ingress and egress there, am I correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So I don't see a problem, it's all their property.
We'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All,
Whatever he supplied, it's outside of-
all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Thank you, trustees.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Number 6, Michael Gruger, Tularosa Arts and History Council is asking for street closure at Encino Street at First and at Third, also Second Street at Duresno and Fresno for their second annual Tularosa Duck Race, Saturday, June 8th, 2024 at 11 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for your time. The Tularosa Arts and History Council is once again planning our summer event. It's funny because there's still snow in Sierra Blanca and we're talking about summer. But we're going to host our second annual duck race. It's a free event for the community. We've got music, food vendors, arts and crafts vendors, kids games, educational displays. Games for the kids, prizes, give outs, information handouts. We had a really good response from the community last year. We were even picked up by Channel 7 News in Albuquerque. Albuquerque Journal did an article on us, and it was really good exposure, not only for the event, but for Tularosa as well. And this year's event is going to be on June 8th. From 11 to 4 p.m. And we are asking the village if they would help us out with some road closures at First Street and Third on Encino, and then at Second Street from Durazno to Fresno.
All motion to approve.
I'll second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Mayor, I'd like to acknowledge the fact that, thank you, Mike, for everything you've done. And the reason that the road needs to be closed is they have no access to the church grounds for whatever reason until further notice. And that's why the reason for the road closures, everything will be on the road itself. And a special thank you for Jennifer for pushing Mr. Gruger.
Is that the word? Pushing. Encouragement.
Encouragement, that's right. I should have used that one. Yeah, I'm sorry. I usually say the look, but encouragement is good.
Yes, especially say thank you to both Jennifer and Michael for all they've done for our community and all they keep doing. You know, a lot of people don't know, you guys run the Luminario program, correct?
Right.
You know, don't we all enjoy the Luminarios at Christmas? They run the program. You know, if you stop and see them, you know, anywhere in town, say hi to them, you know, tell them thank you. You know, we all like to be appreciated every now and then, even the mayor. So,
Thank you for that, but I do want to say our events, and especially the Luminarias, there's a tremendous amount of effort that goes into it by many different groups.
Yes, it
There's
does.
a lot of volunteer groups, the 4-H, the FFA, the Rotary, the Leal Martinez families, the Portillo families. There's just a lot of different individuals who will show up during the course of the event. And I like telling the story. There's some people I won't even talk to all year long, but on Christmas Eve, they show up and they say, where do you need me? What can I do? Or they're calling, and that's tremendous. And it truly is, you know, with the assistance of the fire departments and the police departments and the escorts and the cleanup afterwards. And it's just a true community event for something like that. And it's really great. And we like, partnering with the different organizations in the community. The Honor Society kids, the art and theater and music kids at the high school have helped us out with our Halloween event and stuff. And so it's really great to be a part of something like this.
And it all go attributes to you as well, because in the past experience, when my wife was still with me, she was heavily involved with the church as well, and she organized it along with her sister. And it was organized, but if it wasn't for the people that volunteered or was asked and they volunteered to help, and that's one thing Tularosa has, a lot of people join in once it gets started. They just need someone to be there organizing it, because we don't want to be involved to be in charge of everything. But they're willing to step in and help out wherever they can, and so far that has been proven.
Exactly. Thank you, everybody.
What's that?
Halloween, yeah.
Michael and Jennifer, thank you very much. You're our heroes in this village, you know that.
No, there's so many hands that go into all of our events to help pull it together, and we're just glad to be a part of it.
We're just glad you're at the forefront of it. Thank you.
So we got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Number 7, John Connell, individual, is asking for a second water meter at his property at 125 Sioux Trail. How are you this evening?
Doing good. How y'all doing?
Good, John.
A little nervous. Anyway, I did a printouts, handouts,
Sure.
approach.
Sure.
You guys all have one in your packet, just FYI.
Oh, do we? Okay. Okay.
Thank you, John.
There. I think this one's a little.
Thanks, John.
Thank you, sir.
Let's see.
A few years back, I purchased this property with the hopes of being able to build a site-built home on there, and also creating a home for my mother-in-law who's in Kansas. We're moving her down. So it's not on the agenda yet, but I do got surveyors working on actually subdividing out that 2 acres where I want to put the meter at. So hopefully by next month, they'll have that together so we can vote on that and get your approval on that. But in the meantime, we're still developing and gonna put we've got the trailer on order. So we're hoping to get a second meter. So they'll have, like I said, their own meter for that 2 acre property that I'm parceling out. And then, like I said, hopefully within a couple of years, I'll be starting work on my site-built home on the back part of the property. So,
According to this, the current water meter is on the corner of Sioux Trail and
that's just
lies out here to the,
yeah, that's just the drive coming into the back part of the property. So I got a current meter there, and water lines ran to the back. Before we purchased the property, the past residents had trailers back there and utilized that water meter. And so given the, hopefully we'll get the subdivision, approved, and then that 2 acres, I just kind of wanted, since it's going to be its own entity, wanted it to have its own water meter.
so are the pipes already all hooked up all the way around?
That one meter, the existing meter, I got water lines running to the back. But for the new location for the modular home, there's no water there yet.
Okay, does that mean that you'll be responsible for the pipeline up to the new water meter?
We don't know if we need to, we didn't know what's supposed to happen or how do we make that happen. This was kind of like the first step, and then, but we're willing to do whatever is necessary to help facilitate.
I'm kind of, maybe, tell me if I'm wrong. To me, I kind of think the steps are out of order here. I would think if you wanted to divide the land, you'd do that first, right?
Yeah.
And then you get your site ready for your modular home to come in and get the modular home at least a time frame of when it's coming and then come and ask us for the water meter.
Well, I
Well,
think
maybe
the-
we'll ask the water meter after you get it divided.
The trailer will probably be delivered, it was, how many weeks? By the end of May is when the trailer, we already ordered it and,
Okay, but you haven't had the land subdivided yet, have you?
no, it's in the process, yeah, so it's,
Should,
Do 1 meter per address, right?
yeah.
So it doesn't add another address.
Right. Yeah,
or I just, okay.
that,
The second meter location is viable there, we can put it in there for them. We put the meter from our main, we do a tap, put the meter right outside his property line. So from the meter to his mobile home, modular home, wherever he would be responsible for it.
that's why I thought he was out of order, because I remembered that it has to be subdivided and has to have 2 different addresses, correct?
Right.
Right. Right.
Okay.
There's 2 meters on my property and it's not subdivided.
As long ago, we don't talk about those things.
So, well, at least I know it's like possible, we didn't know what to expect, so we just had to go this route and so we know what to expect and get done. But anyways, I appreciate y'all's time.
You're welcome. Just get it subdivided and then come back to
Yeah,
us.
they're hoping to have paperwork ready, but, or hopefully maybe next month's
So
meeting.
we did no motion, that's right, no action.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
No action.
Number 8, any old business? You got us all the money we ever wanted in the whole world, right?
Says the sound system's better this time. It's not so echoey. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, trustees. Just want to do a quick update on our projects and where they're at. As far as street projects, Willow, Hunter, and Santa Fe, the survey and geotech is done, and we're about halfway done with the design. That should be coming up very soon. We've got the clearances, and we're going to make the request for disbursement of funds on that one, and with Eloise as well, so that they'll disperse those funds, and we've got the clearances on those. So those are moving forward. The DOT TPF project this year, which was again First Street, that we applied for. This is the 3rd year now, and the 3rd year that we have been told that we missed the deadline by 1 day. We turned in the application on the 8th, and they said it was due the 7th. Last year, we turned it in on the 13th. They said it was due the 12th. Year before, I don't know, it's probably 1 day. Trustee Garwood worked with us on that. So the SERPTO is saying they set their own dates for turn-ins, not the regular March 15th date. So we have both Diana and Nora are going to Artesia tomorrow for that SERPTO meeting and talk to the RTPO there and see, like, can they make that more, publicly known when these turn-in dates are? Because statewide, it's March 22nd. And for whatever, each district kind of has different days that we never know which ones they are. So unfortunately, we missed out on First Street again. We probably won't get it back, but for sure, next year, we'll apply again and just keep pushing. We got to get it sooner or later. So that was kind of weird, and I don't know if Trustee Garwood talked to DOT. He was going to make some phone calls, but we kind of just hit a dead end with that. So we'll try to get some more information for next year. As far as the wastewater treatment plant, we have a couple guys going out tomorrow. They got to get some measurements on the drop pipe and the influent lift station, so we could get those replaced and the pumps. As soon as we get that, we should be able to move forward and get that out to bid. The task order for the water the supplemental water is turned in, so it's up for your guys' review and approval. And then we did get a written notice from DFA that the quality of life and regional recreational grants will be extended to June 2026. So that's for the splash pad that had a termination date of June 30, 2024. And then you didn't even get the award till like November, December. So that one is kind of official, unofficial. The state said they're extending it, but they haven't got the response from the feds yet. But they're fairly certain. They told us just keep working. So we sent that to your clerk. She has that information. Also, we're working on the lead and copper galvanized pipe service line inventory that's due. And again, how that one is kind of unofficial, official. They said that they're not going to fund the survey, the inventory survey until after the template is turned in. So it's going to be turned in incomplete. Then for the rest of the meters that you have to identify, the water meters, then they'll fund it after that and give you 5 years. So it's kind of a moving target, but we've been trying to stay in front of it because they have the due date for everywhere in America is October 16th, 2024, to identify every service line in your system on the customer side, not even on your side, on the customer side. So that's where that is. It looks like we're in pretty good shape with that. I sent that template over.
For the addresses?
Becca's gonna grab all your addresses and put them in the spreadsheet with their meter numbers, and then we can start going through them and checking which ones we know that are, before 1986 and which ones are after 1986, and just fill that information in. So it's kind of a long process, but at least we know what we're supposed to do now for 2024. And that's my projects. If you have any questions.
Yeah, can you give me the address and the time for that SERPTO meeting so I can go?
Tomorrow
Yeah,
at
it's
10 a.m.
tomorrow in
I have your-
Artesia. And
I have the packet and everything for you.
Okay, good, I'll be there.
because we're gonna have Diana and Nora both going up, and they want to talk to Mary Ann Burr about, one, for them to get to know her and see if they can't be a little more public about these deadlines. Because you were at the meeting that they said March 15th.
Right.
Yes, and that's the date that they gave me, March 15th was the absolute cutoff for it. So where they came up with the other date, I don't know how that worked.
They voted at that meeting for the March 8th date, the March 7th.
Yeah. Then we turned it in the 8th, so, because we thought we were a week early, but we're a day late, so. We'll get them next year. Any other questions? Good to see you back, Mr. Science.
What's that?
Yeah, I missed you last month.
Somebody did, I guess. And I apologize, I just flatlined last month.
Is there any more old business we need to take care of?
Thank you, David.
Okay. This is kind of old, new, but I'll put it on new. New businesses, we have a new planning and zoning committee, and I would like to introduce you to our committee. We've already voted them in at last meeting, I do believe. Some of our members here are Stephanie Du Bois, okay. Rusty Helton. You guys kind of stand up so everybody can see you. Come on, Rusty, come on. You guys stand up. Thank you. Angel Warback. Angel's a fireman. This time we decided we would get some firemen so they can look at if there's water there to hook onto what they need. Chris Rupp and John Montoya. Those are the 5 that are on the committee, and you guys will need to meet this month. Okay. I want everybody to give them a applaud. They did this all on their own. Volunteered. Is there any other new business? Okay, no more new business. Meeting's adjourned.